To those who possibly may be watching now or later, it just depends. My life has been kind of going in a rough patch as of late. On my last video, I got pretty screwed over pretty hard. And then I've been constantly working 2 jobs, and my car is going to, crap. Well, dog do, whatever the heck you want to say. This is not made for money, so I really don't care. Documenting thoughts. Just relaxing in the wild by the fire. Everything's just going dim. As of late, my entire mental state of depression, loneliness, anxiety, it all went through. I'm still going through it every day. Now, I don't claim myself as saint. I may have done some things in my life that weren't initially planned. It's not like I wanted to do it. I don't know. Went through basically just hell throughout my entire life. I sit and ponder in my own thoughts. On most occasions, either I have the answer or not. I am surrounded by good people most times, and there are times I just want to be left alone. I went through a very bad financial state. I don't do drugs, so that wasn't the case. I was just a foolish man who wants to do right and seemed to do the exact opposite. But I never deserved the things I got like that. I know that for a fact. Just, where do I start and where does it end? After starting my second job, I started making some money, extra money. I got most of my car repaired, and I was finally going to start paying the rest of my payments. And then, bam, a front bumper just deteriorates right in front of it. Just gone. And that's going to cost me about over $2,000 unless I can dwindle it down. But that's the case. It's a sentimental thing. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's got me from point A to point B, and eventually I'll get to where I want to be. Patience takes time. I don't give up so easily. I don't know exactly where I stand in most cases. This morning I woke up with a panic attack. I can't remember the dream. I can't remember anything. But just sitting down, feeling alone. in most cases, it's a scary thought. I think about my children every day. My family, however, I've always been the black sheep, and you know what? That's been a thing for years. I'm quite used to that. I just right now laying down under a whole bunch of trees, figuring out what I want to do the next day. As every day passes, I let time go to waste. Not exactly waste, but more of my life is going to waste. And it's more of just rushing to catch up. You know, when I was a kid, I didn't live in an area where I basically had friends or anything. I was separated. I was in a very quiet neighborhood, and I went to a school that was nowhere near my neighborhood. I didn't give a crap about my grades or anything. You know, like a kid does. Wasn't interested in girlfriends in school, wasn't interested in anything. Just sat in my own room and just wanted to be left alone, listening to music or playing my games, or you know, the stuff that some teenagers just don't click. Growing up was like a nightmare. Constantly every day you had a father that would beat the crap senselessly out of you sometimes, to just completely just neglect you of your own existence. Woke up one day, I remember I think I was like around 4 years old. I hear my parents fighting in the kitchen, and there was a refrigerator just right after the hallway. The coffee cup flew and hit the wall, right at my head level. One more step closer and that would have hit me. Coffee went all over the wall. Just knowing what was going on, I just stepped back and walked away. Didn't want to see any of that. You know, based on life events, everything does affect children. Everything. From the moment they start remembering, the moment they start noticing, the moment that it is automatically imprinted in their brain. Kids won't forget. They will never forget. And this will screw up their mental state for the rest of their lives. Now, I don't understand why people act the way they do. This is not just a learning process, this is also a thing they grew up with. Now, If you're thinking from this part of the question is, have I ever hit a woman? No. Have I yelled at a woman? No. Had fights? Never. Threw anything? Never screamed at them. I just walk away and I scream to myself. Because I don't want anything said to hurt the other person. To know where I stand. If I feel like you're stepping on my shoes, I'll say whatever the hell I want to say. Something yesterday happened. I didn't feel like doing my second job. I'm my own boss. I've made plenty of money that week. Just enough to at least get some things on the roll. And then next thing you know, a woman walks up to me. She looked like at least about an age 22. Maybe 25. Same position as me, except worse. And I felt bad for what I said. Because it looked like she needed someone in time of need. But at the same time, it was more of she was pestering me for a cigarette. Don't go on cigarettes, by the way. Nasty habit. I didn't answer her at first. Just walked away. And then next thing you know, she came up to me and asked me for a cigarette again. And I said to her, and I got my point across. If I didn't answer you the first time, what does that mean? And she just shrugged and she said, no. And I said, walk the other way. If I see her again, I'll get her a pack. But I felt bad for that. It looked like she really needed someone to talk to. I was a complete a-hole. People go down on their struggles and they didn't deserve it sometimes, and I forgot where my place was. Either I was having a bad day or I just didn't care. And I forget how my actions is when I talk to other people. Now, I do have mental problems. Every day. Whether of thinking of suicide or whatnot. I have bipolar depression, anxiety. Sometimes I have suicidal thoughts. I'm not gonna lie. But I think about the people that do care about me. I think about the kids. I think about where I was and then where I am now. Yeah, I'm in a very bad position. But I gotten myself out of it once. With my own hand. I could do it again. But knowing that I'm not really alone is part of life that I do appreciate. And there were some people in my life who I thought would be in my life, but their true intentions were false. And yeah, it hurts a lot. And a lot of times I just like, you know what, fine, don't be in my life, don't be in my life. And when someone close to you does the worst things to you, it hits you hard. Yeah, I know that's part of life. But when someone intentionally does this just to hurt you and the others you care about, you're always going to be angry at that person for the rest of their lives. That's what it's called, betrayal. You can't blame that. Whatever, this rotate device thing. Well, apparently it just says rotate device, whatever. I mean, I know I'm live. It is what it is. I don't care. When you look at the viewpoint of things, people have reasons. And some people just do it because they just want to see other people suffer. And it surprises me that people like that exists. You know, every day, more of every week, I do what's best for myself and for my children. They may not be with me, but I always try to go forward of what's best. I wouldn't dare or dream abandoning them. They are precious in my life, whether they are my blood or not. I took care of the one that's not my blood for a reason. And then I grew very much attached to that baby. And my son, he knows I'm always going to be around no matter what. I know my pauses and everything, they're just boring. I get it. Think about things in life. You know, I'm pretty sure there's some of you out there who are just turning into adults, to the ones that are around my age, that look or have similar pasts to similar goals. Don't give up. Just don't give up. that one popped. It was a big one. I wish sometimes my life went differently. But unfortunately, I'm not always the lucky one. I've been unhappy for my entire life. Yet here I am, I'm still walking, still talking. I had a moment where I get totally wasted to things that go real dark. I was almost pushed to that point. I was real close to being pushed to that point. Very recently. It's been about, almost 3 months. About. Well, Lilith hasn't pulled the trigger yet. That's a good sign. And my mind constantly races. You know, a few weeks ago, my boss walks up to me. She asks me, are you doing, I'm just gonna say, Coca-Cola. I looked at her and laughed. I'm like, no. She's like, well, I kind of figured. And I asked a question towards the second shift. And I found out who it was that suspected I was doing it. And I brought her outside, let her have a sit down and talk. You know, she's just a kid herself. Her mom does it. She didn't want me to go through it. You know, sometimes we have a sit down and talk, and, you know, she sometimes needed someone to talk to. I hear her thoughts and everything else, and I'm like a big brother to her. Even though she's my coworker, I'm a big brother to her. And I was very flattered about that. It just means I've made an impact on someone's life. I asked her, why did you suspect I was doing it? She says, after you blew your nose, another coworker even confirmed that there was white powder on my mustache. It just could have been the debris off the paper towel. Plus, on top of that, I was getting sick off a rodent nesting in my air filters. And I was breathing in its feces and everything, so everything was clearing out. And she said, look at me straight in the eye and swear to me. And I looked her dead in the eye. My smile completely wiped. And I just looked at her and I swore to her that I'm not doing anything worse. I don't do Carolyn. I don't do any of that shit. Yeah, 420, whatever. I'll do that. But never went further. Never. And until this day, I still keep my promise. I haven't seen her recently as of late. I'm pretty sure she has graduated from high school. I'm pretty sure she quit her job. And she wants to do what's planned. You know, she wants to go travel, let her travel. And I hope she stays safe. Taking care of her boyfriend, who was also an ex-coworker. He's a good kid. You know, got recently into an accident with a Ruckus. He was driving a Ruckus, and he was always rough with it. Sped wildly like a kid does. And, well, broke his leg and got a few road rashes, and he survived. Lucky. He was lucky he only got that. Knowing the fact that, you know, he was very... he was very neglectful with it. I ask to his parents every day if he's doing alright. They always go to our drive-thru and everything else. And he's healing just fine. And he'll be back to possibly being another body gas. I guarantee it. I mean, he wants to live free and die. That's the motto of our state. Yet, I'm trying my best to get out of this before the next winter. I don't want to be out here in the next winter. I know I will not survive next winter. I can't go through another one. I can't. I will freeze to death this time. I know I will be safe in the summer, in the spring, in the fall. As soon as that snow drops, I got less time left. If anyone watches this in the future, if you don't ever see a next video with me past February or anywhere near that, I more likely may have passed away. I look at myself every day. Just struggling to survive. I'm not moving around too much because my other job requires me to sit most of the time and get out of my car as soon as I'm able to pick something up or whatever. So yeah, I'm catching more weight, and it sucks. But I try my best to move around more when I can. I live in a city where it's dangerous most of the time, especially at night, but I stay in an area where it's safe. Sometimes you'll see some weird stuff. And sometimes you really need to have something right on your side. Luckily, I have that. Luckily. If I ever need to use it, I hope not. But it's gotten worse. Every year it's getting worse. There has been more occasions of multiple shots. I mean, hell, my second week doing my second job, I was parked a block away and 14 shots was fired. The next week after, heard more shots. It gets worse and worse every year. I never once had to flash it. I never once had to show it. Nothing. Just, if I need to use it, I'll use it. I might be judged by 12, or I might be carried by 6. Either way, my fate stands. You know, I'm going to tell you a story. I was still in high school. It was summertime. My father married this woman in New Jersey. I had like 5 stepbrothers. And it was a small house. It was kind of good for 2 kids and 2 adults, maybe 3 kids, but not 5 kids. Definitely not an extra 2. But you managed. Either you get your spot on the couch or you get your spot on the floor. It is what it is. I was there for the summer. And I slept on the floor. And there was this one dream. It was very weird, and I couldn't depict why. But I saw my old middle school in the dream. And there was 2 people talking. And then next thing you know, they got into an argument with someone else apparently they knew. The guy pulls out his thing and fires. The guy got in the way and took the hit. A few years later, and I still have this memory of this dream in the back of my mind. I apparently met this person who watched her own brother die. And where it was right across from my old middle school. And I thought, did I literally watch a murder? Because when I woke up, my head felt this very sharp pain, like something hit me. It was the most weirdest thing. A lot of strange things happen. getting bit everywhere. But in that case, as I am today, I'm fighting every day. My body is dwindling. Depression's hitting every day. It's getting worse every month. I tried seeking counseling. They all walked away. Great job, America. You know, for your healthcare of mental states. Yeah, great job. You get the past doctors who just does not want to do the work. Very fun, right? It just seems like it gets worse and worse and worse. I was technically, as a kid, I was going through depression and everything else. I was 7 years old. I was 7 years old. And apparently I was one of the kids that the mental health, the pharmacies used to test their products like Zoloft, Depakote, Prozac, you name it. And there was some pretty screwed up side effects. I don't think anything like that should be used on kids. Anything that's brand new out of the market should be used on kids. Unfortunately, it was used on me. And I guarantee you there are some 90s kids out there, some 90s babies that went through the same thing. You know, I went from a very troubled kid to a very violent kid. And worse. I don't wish that on any kid. Remember earlier when I said anything that happens in a kid's life, it's stuck in their memory for the rest of their lives? Yeah. Just like that. Anything that happens to them as kids, they're always going to remember no matter what age. I try to reverse that. Like I said, I'm no saint. Never said I was, I never will be. I'll make mistakes like every human being. It's getting late, though. I got a whole day ahead of me tomorrow. And I gotta plan every next move like it's a game of chess. I'll eventually get my life back together. Just one day at a time. I wish a lot of people a very good night's sleep. And a lot of good days ahead of them. Even if I don't know you. I wish you guys well. Please stay safe. Please do good in this world. And please try to make the better world, a better change in life. Even if you do the wrong thing, make sure it's for the right reasons. Just understand consequences is always ahead. We all could do better as a society. Just remember, you're not alone.